Hey everybody, this video is part of our full-length The Onside Kick podcast. You can find that on Blog Talk Radio, iTunes. You can pretty much find it anywhere, so we don't care where you listen. Just stick around and check it out.
But Mark, we got to move into our second topic. We're going to be talking about Alshon Jeffery, and he's not going to be franchise tagged by the Bears, and he's probably going to be looking for a new team. But before we speculate about any other teams, I got to throw this out there. Is there a slim chance, slimmest of they may be, that we do see Alshon Jeffery in a Bear uniform next year? Because I kind of find it hard that he would want to go away from the midway blue and the midway orange, because he said the Bears were going to win the Super Bowl this year. This next year, he said the Bears are going to be Super Bowl Super Bears.
Well, I do think it's actually worth noting that he could totally end up back in Chicago. It's definitely something that's possible. I think that the Chicago Bears organization has to know that there's already quite a few gaping holes in the Bears roster. You're going to add another one? I mean, people already...
Wide receiver is going to be a huge hole.
People already criticized Pace for getting rid of Brandon Marshall, creating a hole that he then filled with Kevin White, who is non-existent because of injury. So, you know, the part of it has to say, it's similar to what we were just talking about with Kirk Cousins, that the organization has to know better, right? You think they have to know better. I think this is going to be very telling about Ryan Pace and the way he's going to do business, whether he's going to be very much a kind of, penny hoarder and say, oh, it's a little bit too much, we're not going to pay you. Or if he's going to say, this is a guy we need, we cannot lose him. It's also going to kind of show signs of the draft obviously is important to that part too, but show signs to his management of the team and his kind of the roster building that he does. If he truly is going to say, let him walk, I'll get someone young or something like that, because they totally could do that too. So it's totally possible that Chicago Bears could still end up with Alshon Jeffery. Totally also possible that he wants to be there, maybe takes a pay cut or a hometown discount, I guess you could say. I doubt that part of it, but it's possible. But there's also a very, very strong possibility he's somewhere else.
Well, and to me, my first thought was he will be somewhere else. But I had to throw it out there because, like I said, he did say, and I don't know if it was just him kind of speaking, hey, I'm on the team, I got to rep my team. But he did say, whether he believes it or not, the Bears were going to be Super Bowl Super Bears in 2017.
But money talks.
Money does talk. And to me, the one thing, we'll look at the Bears a little bit later, but let's focus on Alshon early. Where will he be next year? Obviously, there's teams floating out there, but I want to throw one out because you just mentioned them. The Redskins. What if the Redskins go, okay, Kirk Cousins, we're going to franchise tag you, and, Deshaun Jackson or Pierre Garçon leaves, but don't worry, we're going to getting you a weapon. We're getting you Alshon.
Yeah, I mean, that would certainly be cool if we're
not going to work a long-term deal with you because we want to go get you this weapon.
But if I'm Kirk Cousins, I would say, yeah, but I can structure a contract favorably for you to get Alshon Jeffery, and I will still have long-term security. That would not make sense to me. But, I mean, for the Redskins, that would make sense of saying, hey, got a good quarterback, got a good weapon. Although you're not
Go
really...
get a number one.
My kind of thought with that is really if you just kept the two weapons that you have, if you signed them as well, as you should sign Kirk Cousins, then all is well. It's just a lateral move in that case, and I don't always agree with doing that, especially when Alshon Jeffery's got some injury history as of recent years. So, yeah, Redskins to me, I'm not going to buy in on them being one of the true suitors.
But there's a team you're looking at that you mentioned before we hit the record button.
Well, you know what? Because I don't necessarily completely think it's going to happen. I just think it would be deadly and that the NFL would need to close its doors after this happened. But what about the fucking Patriots?
Oh, I didn't expect you to throw that team out there. I thought you were going to go with a different one.
No, this is one of my ones I like to talk about here.
So we're going tinfoil hat, Mark.
Yeah, what about the Patriots?
Well, it would have to be a deal that was smart for the Patriots, but it's also...
But they do that. They're good at that.
Alshon Jeffery isn't a guy that's going to rock the boat, and Tom Brady, Julian Edelman's your top guy right now, but really...
Think about those great days with Moss That's
I
what
mean,
you got.
it's a different kind of style because, I mean...
Oh, certainly, but that's still...
Alshon's not a burner, but Alshon's tall and can go up and grab the ball.
Yeah, and when you have, some big target you loved in Rob Gronkowski, another big target you loved in Martellus Bennett, which neither one of them is going to play much because Gronkowski will be hurt, as always.
Gronk is hurt, and Bennett's probably going to play somewhere else.
Bennett's getting paid somewhere.
Don't get paid.
So, besides that, I can't think of who the next tall option is for the Patriots to catch the ball.
I mean, yeah, similar. I mean, Gronk's got more size, obviously. He's a tight end.
Of course.
6'6", 265. Alshon 6'3", 218.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's a more leaner, kind of slimmer wide receiver build, but only 2 inches shorter than
But he's
Gronk.
going to make those free catches. Like I said, this one is certainly on the not likely to happen, but oh man, would that be deadly.
I think Roger Goodell would do everything in his power to block that from happening. Like anything that he could to block Alshon from going to the Patriots, he would.
I think that Roger Goodell would be seeing the dollar signs in his eyes and would be saying, yes, please, yes, please.
Here's the team I thought you were going to throw out. What about the Eagles? The Philadelphia. There's a lot of articles that are out there saying that the Eagles could make a pass at Alshon because it's one of those things where maybe go get the young quarterback a weapon.
It makes sense.
You've got the running back in the backfield. Go get him a weapon.
And the thing is that the Philadelphia Eagles need guys who can hold on to the ball. They need guys who can catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Aguilar, Matthews, they're all right, but they're not anything great.
Dorial Green Beckham's kind of been and I'm not throwing this word around, but he's been a bust since he was drafted. The Titans drafted him. They said, you know what? We don't need you. We're shipping you off to Philly.
I think this would be something that would kind of make sense for the young quarterback. Get him something, especially on a team that faces other teams that have great receivers with, of course, OBJ, Des Bryant. You have a lot of
Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson.
If they're there. You have a lot of these guys you're facing. You're the team that doesn't have wide receivers. You're the team that doesn't have that all-star kind of guy. So go get one and give Carson Wentz that option to throw the ball to. Carson Wentz needs some help out there. He looked great to start the season. Things kind of caught up then. Let him keep his pace ahead for that. But I don't necessarily, as much as the Philadelphia Eagles kind of makes sense to me for the team perspective, it's not necessarily what I would say is the top one I'm expecting.
I got one. This is kind of Ricky's tinfoil hat. And this isn't one of like, oh, we've seen him seriously interested. But this is a team that, A, doesn't have any wide receivers right now, and B, really needs a weapon for their quarterback after their running back had an emergence this year. What if Adam Gase down in Miami says, you know what? I know that we could be looking at Jay Cutler to be a backup for Ryan Tannehill. Fuck it, if Alshon's out there, come play in my system again, big boy. Give Ryan Tannehill a target to throw to, especially if they decide, you know what? Let's try to make a pass at Alshon and let Kenny Stills walk.
Yeah, I mean, to let Kenny Stills walk for sure. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't. I guess it kind of makes sense because they need that wide receiver. They're trying to do anything to get Ryan Tannehill to perform the way he's supposed to.
Really, you'd be replacing Alshon, or you'd be replacing Kenny Stills with Alshon, is what I'm trying to say. Because after Stills, I believe they traded for him from New Orleans, comes in 2015, only 440 yards the first year with 3 touchdowns. Last year had 726 with 9 touchdowns. Really hasn't been that great of a target for Miami, where, I mean, the last year in New Orleans, he had almost 1,000 yards, but only 3 touchdowns. But, I mean, he's in New Orleans. Drew Brees is the master spreader when it comes out to getting the ball to all his receivers. But if I'm Miami, I'd say screw it. I'll make a pass and take Alshon over Stills.
Miami's shown themselves to not be afraid to spend some money. So
They went out there and got Ndamukong Suh when he was a big free agent.
one of the big things here for Alshon Jeffery is he just saw what Antonio Brown got paid, and he's not going to ask for that much less.
Do you think he's worth that much, though?
If he's healthy, yeah. If he's healthy, he is. The problem is if he's going to be healthy or not.
Especially with the PED suspension that you had for him.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily think that's going to be anything that costs him too much money. I definitely think he'll demand. He's not going to demand that 17, 18 million a year.
But he's going to He's going to demand his fair share.
He's already getting paid quite a bit, and he's definitely going to get paid more than that. So he's going to get quite a bit. He needs one of these teams that's got a lot of money to spend. Another team that I would like to see kind of go for it would be the Los Angeles Rams. They're a team that needs some weapons.
They could use a wide receiver.
Yeah, they certainly could. I mean, they have a lot of things that they need, but they're another team that has a young quarterback who didn't really get much time to play last year. But he's there. They don't really have good wide receivers. Tavon Austin's number one, I guess. And they certainly need some help in that situation.
Because really the top 5 teams right now with the most cap as of right now, and this is according to SpotRack.com, the Browns have the most cap. The 49ers are second. Buccaneers, Jaguars, and Titans are your top 5 teams with the most cap room as of right now. And I mean, the Rams, they're about 16th. They've got the 16th most cap with about 38 mil. Are you gonna be willing to spend most of your cap on Alshon?
Well, it's not like you got draft picks to go out there and get these guys.
I guess you gave your first rounder to Tennessee.
Yeah, you're losing out on some of these high quality draft picks, so you kind of almost have to go into the we're gonna have to buy some talent mentality. You're not going to probably luck into a great wide receiver in the draft. So you kind of have to go get your young quarterback some weapons. And besides, one of the big important things for them is going to be that offensive line. That offensive line needs a lot of work. So they're going to need to do a lot of investing in that through the draft and through free agency as well.
Here's the thing. I'm going to throw this out there. This is a tinfoil hat kind of situation. 49ers are second in cap space right now with about 81.8. I think it comes out to $81.885 million of cap space as of right now. Here is what I am projecting. What if they made a case to not just sign Alshon, but to go out and get Kirk Cousins, sign him to a long-year deal, whether it's trade or extension, and what if the Niners, with their cap space, were able to bring in not just a Kirk Cousins, but an Alshon Jeffery as well? We got our quarterback and our number one target.
I mean, it would be cool. It's something that's rare to see a team make two big moves like that.
Because really, I look at
two high-profile moves.
I'm looking at the teams with the most cap space, and I'm looking at who needs a wide receiver. The Browns could need a wide receiver. I don't see Alshon going there.
Yeah.
The Niners are there. I could see Alshon going there if they could get the right quarterback there as well. The Bucs, I don't see them going for a wide receiver. Jacksonville already has 2 of them. Tennessee is interesting.
They need one.
Do they say, nope, we're going to hold pat and wait for the draft? Or do they go after Alshon and then say, you know what? Let's worry about something else with our 2 picks in the draft.
Well, because they got 2. Yeah, you're right.
We already know they're most likely going to go with a cornerback with one of their first-round picks.
I kind of feel that the Tennessee Titans will probably go to the draft to answer their wide receiver situation, just because it's going to make a little bit more sense. I don't think they want to get into a bidding war. So they're going to use the picks that they acquired smartly. And my big thing here is a team like the 49ers, they've got a lot to give, and they've got a lot to try and make that splash. But the thing is, we have no idea what John Lynch is gonna be like. How is he going to operate? Or what's his master
plan for this team?
Yeah, what is the plan? What is the length of time he wants to do things in? Because you go out and you get Kirk Cousins, you go out and you get Alshon Jeffery. That is a win now move. a double move there of we're winning now.
Well, and that's by the next 4 teams, 7 through 9 on the cap space.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the most interesting. 6 through 9, pardon me. Number 6, Washington. We already talked about them. They have about $64 million in cap space. The Patriots have about $62 million. The Colts have just over 60, and then the Bears have 58, or just under $60,000 or $1 million, pardon me, to kind of use on Alshon.
Mm-hmm.
I see one of those. So I don't see the top 5 in salary cap. I see that 6 through 9, either re-signing with the Bears or a team like Indy trying to get a weapon for Andrew Luck, a Patriot saying, "Hey, we're gonna lose Martellus Bennett. Let's get Alshon. Let's get a number 1 wide receiver." Kind of like what you made, the Randy Moss kind of comparison. But the Redskins are the team I look at to make a real push, especially if they're going to franchise tag Kirk Cousins and maybe lose one of Pierre Garçon or Deshaun Jackson, or both. They could lose both.
Mm-hmm. They could. I definitely think there'll be a lot of teams kind of going for it and making pushes for him. But I do, in my heart, and there might be some homerism to it, but I think that he will end up in Chicago.
You think
he's going to stay.
I'm going to ask you this, and this is a question now. Like I said, we're going to focus on the Bears now. This is my Bear-centric question I have for Alshon. Whether Alshon leaves or stays, let's say he leaves, just for the sake of argument. Do you think this move by the Bears saying we are not going to franchise tag Alshon Jeffery, do you think there might be a hidden message underneath it all where they might say, well, you know what, it wouldn't be using our money-wise, blah, 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 money, money, money. Is there an underlining theme that basically, the Bears like this kid Zay Jones from the Senior Bowl. This is a kid that might be around when their second-round pick rolls around. Is there the underlying theme that the Bears could be drafting Zay Jones if he's available with their early second-round pick?
I mean, I think it would be a sign to say that the Bears are interested in him and they like him and he's on the board. I think a lot of things have to go right for that to happen, of course. So I wouldn't read too far into it, but I definitely think it would show you that he's on the board, because the last time the Bears got rid of a wide receiver, they end up drafting one. The problem for the Chicago Bears will be the fact that they will not have a wide receiver really besides Cameron Meredith.
Let me ask you this. What do you think the Bears would do? I'm going to give you 2 situations in the draft. You tell me which you see more likely happening. Number 1, what we talked about, either they take Zay Jones with their early second-round pick, or they use that pick to trade up into the late first round to grab him, or use their 3rd overall pick, trade back a spot or 2, much like they did last season, to grab a Corey Davis.
Well, they traded up last season.
Well, true, but doing the same kind of trading on the draft, this time trading back to kind of acquire more assets and then to grab a Corey Davis is really the main point.
If they can get a good value for it, I think it's worth doing.
Like you said,
trading up,
time,
I disagree.
You said last time they lost a receiver, they got one.
Yeah, I disagree with trading up into the first. There's too many holes on the Chicago Bears roster for them to want to do that.
So you're saying either take Zay Jones in the 2nd or trade that 3rd backup pick or 2 to maybe get Corey Davis. If you're thinking wide receivers in need.
Of those two scenarios, yes, I'd rather draft a quarterback in the 2nd round if there's one there. Because sure, you can have
you don't trust Brian Hoyer?
Not at all.
Most likely will be back.
Not at all.
Could be back.
I mean, he's okay. He's okay.
You don't want to
keep
Jay Cutler? You don't want to keep Jay?
I would keep Jay.
You don't want to make Mike Rankin happy?
I would keep Jay Cutler. There's no reason to get rid of Jay Cutler because you're probably not going to get anything better and you're probably going to lose games anyways.
I will say there was a commenter in one of our videos. I want to say it was the Jay Cutler video that myself and Mike Rankin did for Behind the Pen. And man, I felt sorry for him because he just got chastised in the comment section.
For liking Jay?
For not just liking Jay, saying that the Bears should the Bears not only should bring him back, but absolutely need to bring him back for this season.
Well, it's not like you're going anywhere anyways. I don't disagree that the Chicago Bears are not going to do anything next season anyways.
And it was Jake Walker.
So why not?
It wasn't that video where he got chastised. There was another one where I saw replies coming in, but he said, "We must keep Cutler, #Bear down."
I honestly think that keeping Jay Cutler is not a bad idea. If you want to develop another quarterback, if you want to just keep going the way you're going.
If you're using Jay for a placeholder.
He is a placeholder. He is.
I'm not gonna. It was on I found it. It was on our NFL free agency preview.
There you go.
He said Cutler needs to come back to the Bears. We need him. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 replies to that, all bashing Jay Cutler.
It's very popular to bash Jake.
You know what, Jake? Because your name's Jake as well. Mike Rankin likes you. I can speak for that because you are a Cutler supporter and believe he should be on the Bears as well. I think the Bears are better off without him. But Mark, any last thoughts? Anything you think we missed on the Alshon talk?
No, I'm just interested to see what that contract's going to be now that we know what Antonio Brown's was, how close he gets to it.
True. And this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section about Alshon.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And don't worry, there is plenty more where that came from. You guys can check it out right over here. Click that video, start watching it, and just stick around on Most Valuable Podcasts.